Welcome back to r/LegalAdvice, where we read surprisingly interesting stories that usually don't end in a cliffhanger. Today is the 1st of March, so I would just like to say happy birthday to longtime viewer and subscriber Ray Ann from the comments. I hope you have a fantastic day today. Without any further ado, let's dive right in. And the first one is titled, Dad is being scammed, how can I stop him? Throwaway account for obvious reasons. Dad is elderly and has minor mental issues, but is physically capable of taking care of himself. He is falling for the "I need to send you my gold from Africa and I will come marry you" scam. Everybody he describes his new girlfriend to tells him it is a scam, yet he continues to move forward with it. The scammer sweet talks him with text messages and phone calls, and he sends minutes to her prepaid cell account. He will be getting a shipment with her gold in it soon. After that, he is supposed to open a bank account in their names and get a safety deposit box, sell one of the gold nuggets to cover his expenses, and use the rest to rent her an apartment. He has little to steal, but I don't want anything bad to happen to him. He's being a stubborn old guy, I am in charge of his finances, and he has a prepaid debit card, which I am planning to take back and give him only cash so he cannot buy anything online. Is there any way I can legally stop him from continuing to progress the scam? And guys, before we read the comments, I'm curious, have you ever been contacted by a scammer like that? Or maybe have you even fallen for a scam like the one in the story? Let us know in the comments. And user Stuck in Nowhere Will commented, "Doctor time to document his mental status if not already done. If he's incompetent, then you can pursue legally to be put in charge of his finances." And another person said, if he is medically sound of mind, there is nothing you can do to stop him. It is his money. And now let's see what happened in the update. Update: Dad got a text message yesterday asking for over $4,000 for a security clearance certificate and lengthy explanation about how the package is being held at customs, to get out of the country, etc. Exactly how the scam is documented to play out. He finally believed us and let us block all of the various text senders on his phone who were involved in this. We are locking him down financially, giving him cash only, and anything he wants online he will have to buy through me. He needs a receipt for everything he buys, since we still need to document medical expenses, etc. If he really wanted to, he could, but then he would not be able to buy groceries. His usual assistants, family and close family friends have been instructed that he is not permitted to go to Walmart to buy gift cards for cash, etc. and I deleted the apps he was using to send cell phone minutes to his friends. I also found and cancelled about 8 different monthly recurring subscriptions to various things like savings club membership or financial coaching that added up to about $250 per month of money completely wasted. Financial coaching at $70 per month? Coaching for what? The guy does not have any money or investments left. Savings Club costs $25 per month. Apparently in an offer at the end of some other call he made, he accepted a $3 trial that auto-renewed into a $25 per month subscription. So many scams preying on the elderly these days, it is really sad. Anyway, thanks again for the advice in the original thread. I'm not sure he learned anything, but he knows he's having his wrist slapped. I don't know about you guys, but for me the OP sounds a little bit harsh, and in my opinion he should definitely make sure to educate his dad on what the problem actually was. However, I do have a lot of empathy for older people that get scammed by these awful people. By the way, my own grandma is more than 80 years old and I'm very happy that she's super fit when it comes to technology. What about your parents or grandparents? How do they deal with the new technology? And the next one is titled, Bank gave away my entire banking account. So, last week, a check I wrote bounced from an account I have that I rarely use. It is a beneficiary account from when my grandfather died. I called the bank where I was informed that I closed the account to pay for my wedding. I told them I sure as hell did not and have been married for 6 years. After them jerking me around, "Are you sure you're not getting married? Did you maybe forget about taking that money for your wedding?" I finally got them to open a fraud case. Here is the crazy part. I call and basically stalk them to get them to investigate. I finally speak with someone, and what happened is they gave my money away to another woman with the same name. This woman opened a car loan with the bank, and because we have the same name, they just hooked her name to my account. She lives in Florida and I live in Colorado. We do not have anything else in common but our first and last name. So she ends up calling the bank, they assure her that money is hers, and a relative left it to her, so she rushes down and withdraws it all. I figured all this out before the bank did through some good old-fashioned Facebook and internet stalking, and then sent them the info. Boom. Open and shut case. So now the bank has admitted fault, finally, and will restore the account. They asked me not to file a police report, which sort of makes sense. They, after all, encouraged her to take it, but I have no idea what personal info of mine she has and was given to her. The icing on the cake was, I got a letter from the bank yesterday with her personal info on it, including address, so now they have compromised both our info. Do I have any legal recourse? Do I just shut up and hope she does not steal my identity and be glad they are giving my money back? What advice do you have? Kanga Roosters in the comments said, people who ask you not to file a report should probably have a report filed. And then another user says, I think maybe they don't want a report filed against a woman, which is fair because she did not commit the fraud. The bank assured her it was her money. So guys, I mean the bank is obviously at fault here, but what would you do if you were in OP's situation? Would you file a report against the woman as well? Let us know in the comments. And the next one is the update to the bank's story. So I posted back in February about the incompetent bank giving away my account. Not much to report on the legal front, but I did report them to several governing bodies as suggested by helpful posters. The bank did reimburse my entire account and bounced check fees as well as opening a new account number with my money while admitting some fault. So I got my money back and have not moved my account as some posters suggested, as it is a beneficiary account my grandfather set up 20 plus years ago before he passed that accumulates around 5% interest. So basically, if I remove it, it will never get this type of interest again because these types of accounts don't exist anymore. My update mostly concerns about my personal situation, which recently becomes a problem. My husband and I are trying to refinance our house, and on the Equifax report, surprise surprise, the other woman's car loan is under me. Still, 8 months later, also her current address. Which means they did not fix any of this. I had tried to contact the other woman, non-confrontational about the situation back in March, letting her know her info was breached, and she immediately blocked me. No lawyers I had contacted were interested in taking my cases since they gave my money back, so I kind of dropped it. But now I have filed fraud under my credit report and now have to fix my credit with her under it. I'm not sure what my next steps are, but I refiled some complaints under FDIC and am trying to figure out what else I can do, since clearly this bank is not interested in actually fixing this situation. Luckily, she pays her car payments on time, so I don't have any dings on my credit, but I also have a car on my credit report that is not mine. So that's fun. And guys, to be honest, this story is kind of frightening because it shows how easily a bank can ruin your life even without you being at fault. And the next one is titled, Guidance Teacher Says I Am Breaking the Law by Dating a Disabled Girl because I am in a position of power over her. Can I get in trouble for this? I was called out of class today by my guidance teacher because she is concerned that I am breaking the law by having a relationship with a disabled girl because I am apparently abusing my position of power over her. We are both 16 and we have a few classes together. I'm not her teacher, so I think that means I am not in a position of power. I have helped her a few times with homework and such. Does that count? She is perfectly normal mentally, she just cannot walk, so it is not as if I am taking advantage of her in any way. We have been on one date and had lunch together a few times. I cannot see how this is inappropriate. Is my guidance teacher correct? Will I get in trouble because I am dating someone who is not as able as I am? I don't want to get either of us in trouble. Any advice is appreciated. And someone in the comments said, "This is effing bizarre. I am a wheelchair user, and if she is physically disabled without mental impairments, then your teacher is an idiot and there's nothing wrong with you dating. The teacher is infantilizing her and it is so condescending and gross. She's not made of glass, she is a teenage girl. I would say report your teacher and definitely get your parents involved." And the next comment says, "A position of power is someone like the person's doctor, teacher, a police officer or allocated carer, not a friend the same age. You are fine, keep dating her and make her feel like a princess." And guys, even though that teacher is clearly an idiot, I am really hoping for a wholesome ending. And by the way, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video if you want to support me. Thank you so much, all help is very much appreciated to fight back the stupid YouTube algorithm. And now onto the update to the illegally dating a girl in a wheelchair. Since there were so many of you commenting and giving me great advice on my post here and in a few PMs, I think you all deserve an update. My parents, my friend, I will call her Louise, and I met with the head teacher and the guidance teacher first thing in the morning. The head teacher, who was out of the loop of the situation, asked me about my relationship with Louise. I answered honestly that she asked me out and that we had been on 2 dates together and we would occasionally have lunch together. She said that was fine and sent me off to class. The rest of this was described to me by my friend and my parents since I was no longer present. She then asked Louise if I had made her feel uncomfortable, had hurt her, or if I had tried to force her to do certain things. She replied that I was caring and made her feel special and that if she was suggesting that I had taken advantage of her, she could F off. And then she quickly left on the verge of tears. My parents then asked the guidance teacher what she exactly meant by me abusing my position of power, and it became apparent to my mom that she had no idea what she was talking about. She thought because she had seen me helping Louise in the library with things and because I occasionally pushed her around, that I was some sort of helper or carer for her, not her classmate and date. After some back and forth between the 4 of them, according to another friend who walked by the office, some of it was quite heated, it was agreed that apologies would be made to both of us. The guidance teacher would learn to do her job like she should be able to, and the matter would be dropped in return for not making this public and causing the school yet more embarrassment. I have to say, that is not exactly the ending I was hoping for. However, in my opinion, that school is absolutely disgusting for infantilizing Louise, or whatever her name was, the way they did. Apparently, that school thinks that people in a wheelchair cannot make decisions for themselves. Please tell me your opinion about this story in the comments. I have been unlawfully evicted and need urgent advice. I have found myself in a sticky situation and a communication breakdown with my LL and him not performing any repairs. I have had to repair at my own cost and invoice him. I have no rent arrears, but he has turned nasty. I don't currently have the funds to secure a new tenancy and my local authority have been literally zero help so far. I was away from Wednesday to Friday last week and when I came home I found that the locks had been changed to the front door to my flat and a notice to collect belongings within 7 days. I have spoken to my local authority who have said there is not much they can do other than provide emergency accommodation. Citizens Advice have said to go to my local authority. But I have seen it is possible for me to get an emergency injunction to force my landlord to let me back into the property. I have the form, but so far it is confusing and the shelter site says I should ask for compensation. Is this something I need to do or can I skip this step? And someone in the comments said it might be worth speaking to the police. Illegal eviction is a criminal offense. I don't know what speaking to the police will solve your immediate problem, but it is worth a go. And another person said, while it may not solve immediate problems, it is important to report it to the police. This may stop the landlord doing it again to another victim in the future. Additionally, if these crimes go unreported, the police will never get the resources/processes to deal with them properly. Update: I've been unlawfully evicted and need urgent advice. I just wanted to post a little update about what has happened in my roller coaster over the past day, managed to get the police to take a report yesterday and deal with it criminally against my LL, however they cannot take a statement until Saturday. And by the way, before I forget to mention, LL obviously means landlord. Following some advice from a solicitor over the phone, I managed to fill out a N1 and an N16A form and write a witness statement and got every single bit of evidence I could together. I turned up at 10:30 this morning at Birmingham County Court and the clerk filed the forms and the judge agreed to a without notice hearing. I am totally shocked how fast this all progressed, but I've been granted an interim order which allows me to get back into the property today via locksmith, which I am now waiting for. A full hearing has been scheduled for the 13th at 3 PM, where there is notice, so I am now meeting with the solicitor tomorrow to actually go through what has happened and hopefully get me some compensation for the ordeal I've gone through over the past week. I just wanted to say thanks to anyone on this platform who provided any advice. And as you might have noticed, this story actually was from r/LegalAdvice UK, so please let me know in the comments if you are also interested in legal advice stories from the UK. And the last update to the evicted story from before. Just to clarify, I no longer need advice, but I wanted to keep the title the same as my previous posts. So I firstly want to thank anyone who gave me support while I was going through this horrendous ordeal. So it has been a week since I've been back in my flat and it has been pretty horrendous. Somehow the mains electric have been turned off 3 times in the cupboard in the ground floor that holds the meters, which is really odd because this did not happen once prior to this week. The lock on my mailbox has also been changed, so I guess you can say it was a good week. However, the very exciting part is what happened yesterday. I went to my court hearing and my landlady literally dug her own grave and in her rage completely admitted to her harassment of me. Not only that, but she justified it saying that I am in her property illegally. I was granted my injunction to remain in the property, however, I have agreed to leave on Monday, the 2nd of March. I know this feels like a whole lot of stuff and hassle just so I could remain in the property for a further 3 weeks, but it is my flat and she had no right to just kick me out. The icing on the cake of this all is a judgment for compensation and costs to the value of £5,765, which is, by the way, around $7,300, which is a totally unexpected and life-changing sum for me. Assuming she actually pays this, I certainly think I have a battle to get the funds from her. But again, thank you to everyone for your support, I appreciate everything from all of you. Guys, have you ever been unlawfully evicted? If you have, please feel free to let us know about your story either in the comments or on r/ripe stories on Reddit. And with that, we have reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's content, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join our amazing community. Furthermore, don't forget to go to r/ripe stories on Reddit to post your own stories if you want me to read them out in a video. I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you again tomorrow.